Square Enix has had a big year in 2016, but it looks like 2017 isn't going to be a slouch either. NieR Automata is coming out sometime in 2017 in the US, and Mike Mahardy here has spent some time playing the game. So for people that haven't played it all or don't know what this is, it is kind of an obscure franchise. What is NieR Automata?
So I only played a few hours of the original NieR, which released in 2010, and it's just this over-the-top, pretty, like action-oriented JRPG. But now the thing that's exciting me with NieR Automata is that PlatinumGames of like Vanquish, Bayonetta, and Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance fame is working on the actual action elements of Automata. So there's like action-heavy sequences, like it's very much like, it feels like a kind of Devil May Cry third-person combat. There's like bullet hell sequences. You get like these crazy attacks, but yeah, the story itself is super weird. So apparently it's set like millennia after the first game though, so you don't really need to play the first one if you're like me and only played a couple hours. I went into this demo and I came out really excited.
Yeah, it's coming off of the Drakengard series, which the first NieR was a spin-off of, and then this one's a little bit further along. Did you get any of the craziness of the plot? The story can take some really weird turns, as we saw with the first NieR.
Yeah, a little bit. So you play as 2B, I believe her name is. She's like an android kind of drone sent down, or cyborg. No, not even cyborg. Like an android sent down from the moon where humans have escaped to because robots have taken over the Earth. So when you come back, it's very much like iron rusted kind of like at least the level I played on was like this rusted factory level, although in the distance, and according to the developers who I was playing next to on the couch, they said that it's an open world just combined kind of with that PlatinumGames action, which is a super exciting combination. But yeah, you come back down to Earth to pretty much clear it of the robots to start paving the way for humans to come back, and you eventually get these other allies. I forget. There's like 9D. I forget all the cyborgs' names. I probably won't sink in until I play more of the game. But yeah, definitely kind of an outrageous story, but just setting the scene for the action that kind of unfolds.
So when you say that it has PlatinumGames action, does it feel like it takes a lot of that stylistic combat of something like Bayonetta? Or does it feel kind of fresh and different?
It feels different enough in the pods. That's kind of the defining factor here. These are these little like robot drones that kind of help you out and augment your moves in certain ways, whether it's just blades spinning around you or just this like spike ball of spears that shoots outward, and you keep ranking them up throughout the game. You can also use the pods to kind of like shoot or like do range attacks. But in terms of the fluidity and the the kind of seamless flow from one attack to the next between light attacks, heavy attacks, range attacks, the jumping, the air juggling, definitely feels like a PlatinumGames action game, but enough of it's different that it actually kind of like is drawing me in like before I play more.
But as a Square Enix game and as coming from NieR and Drakengard, it does have some RPG elements as well, right?
Yeah, I mean between ranking up your pods, I believe you gather this currency that you kind of use to rank your character up, being 2B throughout the game. You're exploring the world. I don't know what the quest structure will be like. They hadn't said much about that, so. In terms of like overarching RPG mechanics, I think just mainly the character progression, it's what's going to be driving you. As far as like how the open world will function, I got to a boss fight and then they stopped me right before it at the end of the factory level, which is a shame because the rest of the level is really fun and really well designed. But I didn't get to see how the open world would function. One thing I did really like is the camera in this game. Just like any of action games, third-person action can be made or broken by their camera, and PlatinumGames has demonstrated time and again that they're really good with this. The camera would sometimes zoom out, and then a lot of these like R2-D2 like droids would be shooting like these large orbs at me, and then I would be jumping or dodging them like a bullet hell game while responding with my own range attacks, or if you dodge at the right time, you can counterattack just like other like Platinum games. But overall, it felt very fluid, and then it was very responsive in terms of the combat. I'm really excited to see how the open world will draw me in and explore, because in the distance you can see like forests, mountains, other cities kind of overgrown, more like The Last of Us kind of overgrown as opposed to like the rusted factory I had played in. But as far as the overarching RPG mechanics, they haven't told me too much yet.
And NieR is definitely more of a cult series. I think it's interesting that they're going with Automata instead of calling it like NieR 2. So it can maybe feel as a new game that you're getting into. That said, having that weirdness, having kind of a history of a very different kind of game than what's typically popular here in the West, do you feel like this one might be the kind that could catch on? Do you feel like it has potential?
Yeah, despite the weird name, which like Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance also kind of had, to say the least. I think it will catch on. I think that PlatinumGames influence will bring more people in, because I know a lot of complaints, myself included, even though the few hours I played of NieR weren't a lot, were that the action itself felt kind of janky. It didn't feel like it was feeding into the overall game as much. Now, it feels like the open world, I'm hoping will draw me in more, but the moment-to-moment action is like just so engrossing that I don't even care whether the open world works that well. It was just so fun to jump, do like a downward kind of spiral attack, activate a pod that spun swords around me, fire a range attack at another range droid, and then just like counterattack this giant robot fighting me. I'm looking forward to the boss fights. They say the demo will be available sometime in the coming months. They did not give me like a window or a release date. I am looking forward to playing that so I can fight that boss that they stopped me from fighting. But yeah, I think this could catch on in the West when it releases in 2017.
All right, so it sounds like NieR Automata could be a really interesting title. It's going to be coming out early in Japan. We don't have a firm release date, but sometime in 2017 in worldwide in the US. And if you want to read more about it or see the game in action, be sure to stay tuned to GameSpot.com.